Yo everyone, what is going on? Welcome to the video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you 3 insane recipes. Insane. What other words do I use on YouTube sometimes in the titles? Huge, life-changing, crazy, mental. I don't think I've ever used mental. No, but seriously, these meals are tasty, they're low in calories, they are high in protein. They're actually really good meal prep meals as well. So if you are somebody who likes to prep a few meals in advance, then yeah, this will be very useful. But yeah, let's kick things off with my dessert slash snack recipe for the day. I'm going to be making some very easy protein pudding. It does require a little bit of prep, but as I said, it's so easy. There's only like 5 ingredients. You could probably even get away with 4. So yeah, let's do it. So I'm gonna start by adding 35 grams of double chocolate informed whey protein to a bowl. This is from Bulk. That is gonna be followed by 15 grams of cocoa powder, 30 grams of powdered peanut butter, 1 teaspoon of powdered sweetener, this is optional, and 100 ml of low-fat milk. This is how we are looking. Now I'm gonna mix it all up until a very smooth consistency is achieved. There we go. If you are not licking the spoon when making shit like this, you are not human. Okay, so I've transferred the mix to a clear dish because you guys just deserve that A+ presentation. And I am going to let it set in the freezer for about 2 hours. So yeah, make sure you stick around until the end of the video to see the finished product. It is the texture that does it for me. It is so good. But yeah, as I said, this is the whey protein that I use, so double chocolate informed whey from Bulk. This is definitely my new go-to chocolate flavored protein. It's so rich, so I am a big fan. And if you're looking to pick any supplements at all up from Bulk, then make sure to follow the link in my description for the best deals. And if you do buy something after following that link, they know I sent you as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, thanks. Okay, so next up I'm going to be making a pasta-based dish, which I always enjoy. I actually saw this as a trend on TikTok a while ago, put my own little spin on it, and boom, it's really good. And as I kind of said earlier in the video, this would be ideal for meal prep. So if this is a bit of you could easily make like 2 or 3 portions at a time with very little fuss. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to add 150 grams of cherry tomatoes to a Pyrex dish. That is going to be followed by 60 grams of lightest Philadelphia, which is just low-fat soft cheese. Then I'm going to season with some sea salt, some pepper, and some garlic. Then I'm going to pop it in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, so now that there's about 15 minutes left on the timer on the oven, I'm going to add 50 grams of tagliatelle to a pot of boiling salted water. And as you can see, I just used plain white tagliatelle. If they had a whole wheat version, I probably would have went with that instead, just because the whole wheat version is a little bit more filling. But yeah, no big deal. And as the tagliatelle is cooking away, I'm gonna add 150 grams of bacon medallion pieces to a pan. And I'm gonna season with some sea salt, some garlic, and some SP, smoked paprika. Alright, so the cherry, tomatoes, and cheese are ready to go and smelling so good. Then what I'm gonna do is add in about 10 grams of chopped basil. I'm gonna mix everything through until it forms a delicious creamy sauce. I'm gonna add in my medallions, followed by my pasta. And then I'm just gonna mix everything together. Okay, so if you got served this in an Italian restaurant, I promise you, I guarantee you would be happy out. And I know the ingredients are pretty basic, but somehow it just tastes so Italian. It tastes really authentic, really creamy, really rich. And yeah, generally speaking, creamy pasta dishes usually have like a lot of calories. So for this to only have 432 calories and 45 grams of protein, that's a game changer. That's so good. Okay, so a bit of personal news from me that some of you may or may not be interested in, I suppose. But I've decided to give up Monster, so cans of Monster, for the month of June. And the reason I did this isn't because, you know, Monster and energy drinks in general are bad or anything like that. In moderation, they're pretty okay. And even when they're used in the right context, like before a workout, they can have some benefits. But yeah, I just found that I was getting to a stage where I was starting to kind of rely on it. So for example, Like, I couldn't do a workout without a can of Monster. Beforehand, I got my workouts in at 6 a.m. and, you know, on the way to the gym, I would always have a can of Monster. Then a few hours later, I would usually have a can of Monster again. And, you know, if I didn't have one, I'd be craving one, or even if I wasn't craving one, I'd have one anyway, because, you know, there would just be one lying around the apartment, and in turn, that would actually drive up my caffeine intake for the whole day. It would lead to me getting a worse sleep, which would make me more tired the following day, which would lead to me craving Monster even more the following day to fight the fatigue, and I just found that I was in this constant cycle. So yeah, I just felt that something that I didn't really want to become a significant part of my daily life was, and I wanted to break that cycle that I was in, and I've actually been here before with Monster. I've said I was going to give it up in the past, and I never have, or I've tried and I've failed. So this time I've actually made a bet with Rach that if I drink a can of Monster in the month of June, I owe her €1,000. And I know that's a bit extreme, but I just felt that this time I needed to put my money where my mouth is to really stick to it. But yeah, it's currently the 10th of June and I'm feeling pretty good. Like, my caffeine intake is way down for the day. My energy levels are definitely up. My sleep quality is way up. Like, last night I think I got 1 hour and 45 minutes of deep sleep. I'll put a screenshot of that on the screen now. I track it with my Fitbit, and that, I think, is the most deep sleep I have ever gotten since I've started looking at my sleep in more detail. So yeah, it's good to see that what I'm doing is actually paying off. It kind of gives me like a sense of accomplishment or something. And yeah, comment below and let me know if you've built up any dependency on any sort of food or drink over the years like I have with Monster. Yeah, I think it would be really interesting to know. Okay, so my next meal is the ultimate meal prep meal, and just to show you like how easy it is, I'm actually going to prepare 2 portions here. I'm going to walk to walk and not just talk to talk. But yeah, I think this is one that probably most people haven't really thought of meal prepping before, and that's kind of the main reason that I want to do it. I want to show you that meal prep doesn't always have to be things like pasta and rice. Of course, there's nothing wrong with prepping pasta and rice, but it's good to, you know, change it up from time to time. Okay, so I'm going to start by adding 300 grams of 5% fat beef mince to a pan, and remember, this is 2 portions. So if you are only making 1 portion for yourself, divide all the ingredients by 2. That is going to be followed by 1 chopped up onion. Then I'm going to add in 1 chopped up yellow and 1 chopped up red pepper. Let's add some spices into the mix. So some sea salt, smoked paprika, a little bit of cumin, some garlic, some cayenne pepper, and some oregano. So there is a lot going on here in terms of spice. Okay, so now that everything on the pan is pretty much cooked, I'm gonna add in 400 grams of chopped tomatoes, 30 ml of Worcestershire sauce, 1 beef stock cube that I've mixed with 250 ml of boiling water. Mix it all up. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more smoked paprika into the mix for good measure. Then I'm just gonna let it simmer away on a high heat until the sauce reduces and it begins to thicken. All right, so now I have 2 McCain jacket potatoes. Each one contains 202 calories. And as per the instructions on the back, I am going to microwave them for 7 minutes. And you can, of course, bake them in the oven if you want. They probably will taste nicer, but it does take a lot longer in the oven, so it's completely up to you. Okay, so the sauce is almost there, and one thing I will say about this is give it the time that it needs. It will probably take around 20 minutes, and if you give it that time, it will get nice and thick and just taste unreal. Okay, we are good to go. I have opened both potatoes up, and now let's spoon our chili con carne mix in. Okay, so we are good to go, and this is honestly the heaviest dinner I've ever made. Like, this is so dense. During lockdown, I should have just been lifting plates of this. But yeah, I have to say, I absolutely love this meal. It's really filling. Like, potatoes are one of the most filling things ever. Veg, there's a lot of veg in there. There's a lean protein source. So yeah, if you are looking for something to really like keep you satisfied for a few hours, this is a good shout. And then in terms of meal prep, it is honestly the easiest thing ever. So let's just say you prep 2 portions at a time like I did. You could get 2 lunch boxes, 1 jacket potato in each, half of your chili con carne mix in one, half of your chili con carne mix in the other, and that's it. So simple. And let's give the chili con carne mix a go. It is so saucy. So saucy. So saucy. Okay, so it is time to check on the protein pudding. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. And as you can see, it definitely does. Just look at how creamy and thick and rich this is. This is honestly so ridiculous. Just look at that. All right, so mandatory taste test. That is potentially one of the best things that I have ever made. And if you had the extra calories, you could go one step further and add toppings. You could add some peanut butter, you could add some marshmallows, my go-tos. But yeah, honestly, on its own, this is so tasty. And for 372 calories and 47 grams of protein, it is an absolute calorie and macro bargain. 100%, 10 out of 10. Give it a go. Alright everyone, I'm going to wrap the video up there. I hope you enjoyed it. And make sure you comment below and let me know what your favorite recipe was. Was it the creamy pasta dish? Was it the chili beef loaded potatoes? Or was it the protein pudding? And I would really appreciate it if you gave the video a big thumbs up, because every single thumbs up, every single comment goes a long way. It genuinely helps me a lot. It helps my videos reach a bigger audience. So if you could do either of those things, don't be lazy, do one of them at least. I would really appreciate it, seriously. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're keeping well, and I'll see you in the next video.